Brownstone, stoop sitting, summertime, block party skipping, Brooklyn, 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 Brooklyn streets. I come from St. James and Fulton, C-Train, Clinton, Washington stop. Golden Crust, dipping, Fantasy Island, sipping, where high school dropouts threw truancy parties. Where corner stores ain't nothing but hood castles, home to Arabian Nights, boxing rings for middle school fights, and street pharmacies. I come from New York City subway tunnels, underground museums where graffiti hangs like Picasso's and the homeless are still life. Statues with a pulse yellowing from piss stains. See, we the people gawk as we tour these amusement parks to poverty on our screwed up train rides home. I come from head bopping, no music, hand clapping, teeth smacking, feet stomping, double dutch hopping, gum popping, rock, paper, scissors, says, shoot, kid fun. I come from African bloodlines, Layla Hathaway bass lines. I pledged solo fraternity lines. Shakespeare meets Baraka poetry lines. Maternity stretch mark, black don't crack, don't you think about crossing that path mark. Supermarket lines that trace back to 1920s Harlem nights. Zoot suits creased in pressed top hats. Boom, pats, bass, bass, bass. Ka-dunk, pat, pity pat, Ella scats that swing and sway. Ladies' legs like brushstrokes to the air when they danced. I come from the corpses of crowned heads. Dr. King, King Headley, King Oliver, Kings County. Gunned down men who wore their skin less light or their hoods too tight. Torpedo fists ready to rip the sky. Raised hands closed shut like cocoons, growing wings in the center of their grips. They held hope, waiting to fly. I come from the resistance of Angela's fro, the will of Marley's locks, the other end of the noose, a missed miscarriage. The seed that rose, planted and prayed over and waited to bloom. I come from the thirsting eye of a grandmother, a dry well that longs to tear for the children she bathed and buried with a pair of hands refusing to wrinkle. Those five-finger soldiers sometimes forgetting to pray before war were made for the piano so she could play a song for the heart to sing, and again there will be life in the center of her chest. I come from magicians, a magical man and woman who turned two-bedroom apartments into royal mansions with a world-class view of next door. On top of the throne, I sat overlooking the Empire State with an army of action figures wearing cardboard crowns and fruit of the loom gowns, and I was the king of breakfast. I come from a father whose love begins to gray over time, and his wife, the woman who carried the world on her left shoulder, begging her knee for balance. From her blistered hands, clinging to life. I come from the late night fights between a mother and cancer. Domestic disputes between sworn enemies sharing a bed, a husband, a family. I come from the hour-long cries, the name-calling, the backstabbing, the heartache, the therapy sessions we sat in, the treatments, the doctors' voices that weren't sweet enough, the couches that weren't soft enough, the wigs that weren't long enough, cancer, the uninvited house guest dressed in mommy's clothes. She headed for the door with a card and last breath in hand. I come from a mother's goodbye as a parting gift. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm gonna try again. How's everybody doing tonight? All right, good. So I'm really excited to be here tonight amongst Brooklyn movers and shakers, innovators in your own respective industries. And if you couldn't tell, I am from the Republic of Brooklyn. And I'm really proud to be celebrating all of the brilliance that exists right here in our city. So if for nothing else, why don't we just give a big round of applause for Brooklyn? All right? So tonight's theme is what's next, right? And so as a writer and a performance artist, it is almost impossible for me to investigate what's next without drilling into what is now. So with that being said, this next piece that I want to share with you all kind of examines America's current cultural climate, and it calls to question how we as a society engage with Black bodies, both in life and in death. Mike Brown's mother reimagines her son's autopsy report. The deceased is properly conveyed in a white body bag secured with U-line lock number 0867377. The deceased is lying in prone position, right arm slightly extended away from his side, left arm next to his side, lower arm beneath his abdomen, hand near the waistband of his shorts. The deceased is cool to the touch. The deceased became belligerent. The deceased ran toward the officer. The deceased sustained multiple gunshot wounds. The deceased is a Black boy, clothed in a pair of yellow socks with black leaves, brown shorts with pockets, blue underwear, a gray short-sleeved t-shirt, and a black cloth belt. The deceased is a Black boy, 289 pounds, 77 inches in length. The hair is black. The hair is worn short to medium length. The pupil of the left eye is round, regular, equal, dilated on its surface. The left eye is unremarkable, but the iris of the left eye is blown, burnt out, completely exhausted of life. The body is open. The chest cavity of the deceased is a swelling gunshot wound. The heart, 1,000 butterflies, each boasting a pair of wings abnormal in size. Inside of the deceased, there are wounds, dried and discolored, lullabies and spilt liquor, a couple of rolled blunts burning the bits of brilliant dreams buried beneath Sunday school Bible verses. Old Testament prophecies hang crucified against Biggie and Tupac lyrics, and the residue of music boils in the blood. A gunshot entrance wound near scraps of Satchmel's blow. The timbre of an aggravated trumpet. 400 milliliters of the Black boy's blood is all sonic blast and boom. The gunshot exit wound ripping through the diaphragm is a freedom party, with the music too loud, fists too right, feet too raw. When the left lung is a spongy hurricane of mother's screams, the breath is all why? Breathe, Black boy, breathe. The deceased is a graffiti haven of neon tributes. Spray-painted ribs pay homage to hip-hop, and big-faced memorials salute neighborhood martyrs. When the Black boy has 2 volcanoes for lungs, duck for cover when he spits. Surprise. The autopsy report is an art opening. Sketches of hieroglyphs. Do you know? Stick to music stanzas. Do you know how? The inner lining of the Black boy is all sheet music and secrets. Do you know how? Them bullets, the world's next greatest sound. The Black boy is all code and sound. Do you know how? Them bullets hit my son. Listen to the choir of corner boys harmonize to Juicy. The brain is a vibranium turntable bumping rhythm and blues through the shell while the moon plays hide and seek inside the black boy's unembalmed universe at 12:04 p.m. Do you know how them bullets hit my son? 3 wounds to his head, 1 wound to the top of his head, 2 wounds to his chest, 3 wounds to his right arm, 1 wound to the inside of his right hand near his thumb and palm. The bullet can shatter bone, but a rainbow will ensure the bullet won't leave the body inside the black boy. The bullet is not a bullet, it's a seed sprouting into a marching band of colors. All that movement in the body, back and forth, up and down, short and quick. If the laughter of the black boy is all music and scatter, then the deceased is not free. The deceased is the black boy, but the black boy is not free. If the black boy is not music or scatter, if the black boy is not belligerent or multiple gunshot wounds to the chest at 2947 Canfield Drive, but the deceased is still the black boy, then the black boy must be magic. Magic.